live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I am Charita Vinupurarachi. Joining with me today is Natalia Veerawardana. Emergency law has been imposed due to the prevalence of a public emergency situation in the country. Legal experts say the emergency law will not exceed the Constitution or its basic rights. The Prime Minister instructs the IGP to strengthen security of the judges of the judiciary. The SJB agrees with a set of proposals presented by the BASL regarding the interim administration. An inquiry into the information regarding standards of fuel published in social media. GCE auditor level examination is to be conducted from 23rd of this month to the 1st of next month. Two protesters near the residence of former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. 20 persons killed in an explosion in a super luxury hotel in Cuba. On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with local stories. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has decided to authorize the implementation of the emergency law with effect from midnight yesterday. A communique issued by the Presidential Media Unit says that the President has taken the decision as he felt that it was appropriate to maintain essential services as well as to safeguard public security according to the powers vested upon him. Meanwhile, the Department of Government Information issuing a media release says the emergency law has been imposed with the objective of safeguarding the public security. According to the department, communique, Sri Lanka is currently facing the most serious economic and social crisis and political instability since the independence and overall consequences of inappropriate short and long-term policies. The report further points out that priority is being given for the restoration of commodities and services supplies as well as proper management of foreign reserves within the shortest possible period. It has been further pointed out that the island-wide emotional protest being carried out for several days have posed a serious threat on the safety of the people's lives. They have also obstructed provisions of services and also paved the way for destabilization of common passenger transportation, including railways. Obstructions have also been posed on daily tasks in hospitals, resulting in inconvenience in the patients. Activities in factories, including garments, are not being properly carried out. Students have been deprived of the opportunities of going to schools. It has also become difficult for employees in both the government and the private sector, including the industrial institutions, to report to work. The Government Information Department communique adds that the agitations have led to further intensifying the economic crisis and burdening the general public. Accordingly, the emergency law has been imposed with the objective of guaranteeing the rights of the general public to travel in freedom, as well as to ensure the continuous maintenance of supplies and services, as well as to establish the people's security. The communique adds that the imposition of the emergency law is only a short-term measure to deal with the crisis situation, and it will be removed immediately upon restoration of normalcy. And meanwhile, attorney at law Dr. Pratibha Mahanamehewa says the emergency law will never exceed any instance of the constitution of the country or its fundamental rights.
He further says that the emergency law will be automatically abolished if it could not be passed in Parliament within the 10 days from the day of imposition.
The President has declared state of emergency in Sri Lanka. To declare the state of emergency, President has the power by 1947 Act number 25 of Public Security Ordinance. To declare, President has the discretion power. If President feels, if President thinks there is a state of emergency to give the public security as well as public protection to distribute the essential services, yes, on that case he can do it. Now, when he when he declared the emergency, it will go for 1 month. But within 10 days, you must get the endorsement from the Parliament. Parliament must approve it. Otherwise, after 10 days, if he is not getting the approval from the Parliament, it automatically vacates after 14 days. Now, in this scenario, what will happen? President has actually declared the emergency on May 6th, but the parliament once again convened on May 17th. That means the 10 days already gone. So it is only be in lively, it will be in only for 14 days. After that only once again you can do it. When you declare the emergency by the president, some additional powers are there for the security forces to arrest and keep detention, as well as basically search, all these things. But remember, the emergency regulations or emergency law or state of emergency must not, beyond the power and the human rights which had been declared in the 1978 Constitution. That means any other law can be superseded by the Public Security Ordinance, but it cannot supersede the 1978 Constitution, Chapter 3, Article 10 to Article 14. That means even in the state of emergency, the citizens of Sri Lanka having the power for peaceful demonstration, freedom of expression, freedom of publication, freedom of political struggle, everything they have within the limit of the Constitution. And also Article 14, 1G, freedom of movement. That has to be also given. Person can, travel anywhere in Sri Lanka.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has instructed the IGP to immediately strengthen security of the judges in all judiciary in the island.
And the Prime Minister's media unit says the measure has been taken according to requests made by several organizations. Accordingly, the steps have been taken to strengthen security extended to the magistrate of Kaduvela. Attorneys of the Organisation of Justice have focused the attention of the Prime Minister on the communications carried out by the Judicial Services Organisation regarding removal of security at the official residence of the female magistrate of Kaduvela. Measures have also been taken to strengthen the security of judges of all courts throughout the island.
The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation says that information pertaining to standards of fuel as propagated by social media is being investigated.
And the Minister Kanchana Wijesekara issuing a Twitter message says random tests on fuel in filling stations are being carried out island-wide. The reason for conducting random tests is the receipt of complaints regarding the mixing of water, kerosene and other substances with fuel at some filling stations. The minister reiterated that it has been proven that filling stations were engaged in such practices. The permits of such stations will be cancelled with immediate effect. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says 4,000 metric tons of auto diesel and 2,500 metric tons of petrol are being released on a daily basis. The minister issuing a Twitter message says supply of diesels to filling stations has been restricted until the restoration of repairs at the Norachole power station. Unloading of 40,000 metric tons of crude oil and petrol is scheduled to be carried out on next Monday. Chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, Sumit Vijay said that measures are being taken with great responsibility over the testing of fuel shipments at the relevant ports and also the unloading of the local ports. The stocks will be also coming under testing prior to the release from the main storage complex. The aim is to maintain the standards of the relevant fuel stocks. The stocks are being transported to the filling stations also with great responsibility. Owner of the bowsers are entrusted with the safety of the fuel stocks, and the chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation also said the owner of the relevant filling station is responsible to follow necessary security guidelines and to ensure the standards of the fuel. He also said that upon inspection of samples received from several filling stations, he has found out that stocks were contaminated with water. The CPC chairman also stated with extreme responsibility that they will conduct full investigations into the issue and take legal actions against filling stations which fail to adhere to the safety guidelines. The permits of the culprits will also be abolished.
ඌට විරුද්ධව අපි වහාම නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා. ඒ වගේම ඔවුන් වෙත නිකුත් කර ඇති අලෙවි කිරීමේ බලපත්‍ර අපි අවදි කිරීමට කටයුතු කරන බව මේ අවස්ථාවේ කියන්න ඕනේ.
An inquiry has been conducted regarding standards of fuel in a filling station in Galle as published in social media. The CPC says that according to preliminary investigations, it appeared that appropriate methodologies such as evacuation of underground water in tanks of the filling stations were not carried out. The relevant filling station has been sealed until the conclusion of the fuel investigations. Standard of fuel are being tested on 4 occasions from the importation of fuel stocks until distribution to consumers. Standardization checks are also being carried out prior to the shipment of fuel fuel in foreign countries. An independent investigating team with the agreement of the fuel supplying companies and the CPC is engaging in investigations. Testing of fuel standards of ships carrying fuel loads to the harbour is being conducted at the laboratories in Kolanava and Sapugaskanda. Once again, before filling the fuel to the bowsers, another standardization check is being carried out. Random checks are also being conducted even after the bowsers deliver the fuel stocks to the filling stations. Our correspondents have witnessed today, as well as the bowsers arriving at the Kolanava terminal to receive fuel. Fuel distribution process is being carried out continuously. The Vadua police station has taken measures to distribute among consumers fuel concealed in a filling station in Molligoda, Vadua. Consumers were engaged in a protest at the Molligoda junction last evening over not receiving fuel at the filling station since 3 days. The Vadua police station has conducted a discussion with the management of the filling station in this connection. Later on, it has been found out that a stock of fuel was stored in an underground tank. As a result, a heated argument has taken place between filling station management and the consumers. The police has intervened and made arrangements to supply the fuel to the consumers. And another incident of hiding fuel has been reported from a filling station in Kumbuka, Horana. Consumers deprived of fuel supplies were engaged in an agitation blocking the Kumbuka area of the Horana-Colombo main road last evening. A fuel browser was reported to have arrived at the filling station around 6 p.m. yesterday. However, the management has failed to distribute fuel to the consumers even till 9 p.m. last night. The Moragahayana police station has immediated to supply fuel to the consumers from the filling station. Our correspondents say the fuel distribution is being carried out as usual in the Vauna district. The consumers were seen receiving fuel without a rush today as well. Farmers in Anuradhapura have been facing difficulties due to not having enough diesel to engage in saving of seeds. Our correspondents say long queues of tractors were seen at filling stations. The Lanka Private Bus Owners Association says bus transport will have to be curtailed with effect from next Monday due to the fuel shortage. Power cuts are scheduled to be conducted for a period of 3 hours and 20 minutes tomorrow as well in the zones from A to L and also from P to W.
2 protests were conducted in front of the residence of former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe at 5th Lane in Kollupitiya this morning. One protest was conducted against him and the other extending him support. Those who have been engaged in protest against Ranil Wickremesinghe said they opposed his decision to vote in favour of Ranjit Siambalapitiya in electing him to the post of Deputy Speaker. Those who have agitated in favour of Ranil Wickremesinghe have praised him for the manner of acting in the face of the present economic crisis. An altercation between 2 protesters has also been witnessed. Former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the country will have to undergo further difficulties in the task of taking measures to the resolve of economic crisis.
He made these remarks while engaging in a dialogue with youth representatives in Colombo last evening. Former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that Sri Lanka is a country without adequate foreign reserves and a country unable to repay its debt. He added that we don't have either dollars or rupees. Although rupees couldn't be printed, dollars could not be printed in the same way. He has also stated that in a few days from now there would occur a severe shortage of essential items. The economy has been exploded. Sri Lanka is unable to bring everything from India as due to the foreign exchange problem. Industries would come to a standstill due to the raw material shortages. Therefore, the further is uncertain, and the former Prime Minister further said that Sri Lanka will have to prepare a program to come out of the crisis. In order to do so, at least 150 to 175 parliamentarians will have to come to a common consensus. A series of pledges will have to be prepared. The Samagi Janabalavege has expressed agreement to set up an interim government based upon the sets of proposals presented by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. Parliamentarian Harin Fernando has disclosed this fact to the media today. MP Harin Fernando said that a special discussion between the Samagi Janabalavege and the alliance of the Samagi Janabalavege was conducted to discuss the present crisis in the country. He further said that the SJB and the SJB alliance have agreed with a set of proposals presented by the Sri Lanka Bar Association to resolve the present problem. He further said that they have also accepted as preliminary requirement of the program proposed by the BSL to remove the president and to abolish the system of executive presidency. He added that based on the BSL proposal to resolve the crisis, the SJB alliance have extended support for the implementation of a national program to alleviate the present crisis.
The Tamil National Alliance says it has not yet taken any decision regarding extending support to the no-confidence motion against the government. Several parliamentarians of the alliance have expressed their opinions to the media after engaging in a discussion with the Speaker today. Parliamentarian M. Sumandiran said that they will definitely extend support to the no-confidence motion against the President. He added that, however, they have still not taken a decision regarding the no-confidence motion against the government. The MP added that they will have to find out what type of government is to be formed and who would become the Prime Minister. Parliamentarian Sumandiran further said he has come to know of expressing willingness to set up an interim government based on the proposals presented by the Bar Association. He added that this is a good development and they may extend support to implement the proposal.
The police has taken measures to disperse a crowd of protesters near the Parliament Road entrance in Palawat by launching a tear gas and water attack last night. The protesters left the location around 10:30 p.m. saying that they will return on the day of the recommencement of Parliament sessions. The police were compelled to launch the attack as protesters failed to heed the orders to disperse. Protest in front of the Presidential Secretariat in Goldface has been conducted for the 29th day today. A couple prior to the engaging in the wedding ceremony has visited the protest site. Agitators were seen shouting slogans at the premises even late at night. Professor G.S. Pires has been appointed as the new Chancellor of the Peradeniya University.
The relevant letter of appointment was handed over to Professor G.H. Pires by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the President's office in Fort today. Professor G.H. Pires had obtained a degree in geography with first-class honours from the Peradeniya University in 1960. He had also obtained a doctorate on economic geography from the University of Cambridge in 1965. Dr. Pires had received his first appointment as assistant lecturer at the Peradeniya University. He has functioned as a university lecturer for a period of 44 years. He is also an intellectual who was engaged in research on political changes in different countries in the world.
Operational changes and the details of the $1 billion Indian credit line has been released. A media communique issued by the High Commission of India in Colombo says that in order to strengthen Sri Lankan food, health and energy security, the government of India has extended a concessionary loan of $1 billion to the government of Sri Lanka on the 17th of March this year. The facility is operational and food items like rice and red chilies have also been supplied. The communique further says that the details of the operational aspects of the facility is available.
The Department of Examinations says that 2021 GC Ordinary Level Examination will be conducted from the 23rd of this month till the 1st of next month.
The department says that admission cards and timetables of school candidates will be sent to the respective principals. Admission cards of private candidates will be mailed to their addresses. A request has been made from the candidates who did not receive the admission cards before the 12th of this month to contact the Department of Examinations. The department further says that in the event of any changes in the name or in the subjects in the admission card, such discrepancies could be rectified through the official website of the Examinations Department. The department further says that time has been reserved till midnight on the 14th of this month to make the corrections. School candidates should make the revisions through the respective principals and private candidates by themselves. The relevant timetables are published in the official website of the Sri Lanka Examinations Department, www.doenets.lk. Candidates who have any problems should contact the School Examinations Development and Results Division via the telephone numbers 011-278-4208, 011-278-4537, 011-318-8350 and 011-314-0314. Information could also be obtained through the hotline 1911.
Deputy Speaker Ranjit Simbalapitiya says that he also acknowledges the fact that it is comical to resign twice from the same position.
He has made these remarks at a media briefing this morning, elaborating the reasons for resignation. Deputy Speaker Ranjit Simbalapitiya said that all in the opposition headed by the Sri Lanka Freedom Party has taken a unanimous decision that if he was presented for election once again, they would be prepared to accept him as their common candidate. It would have been extremely important to show that the strength of the opposition and to pose strong challenge to the government as a preliminary measure of forming an all-party government. He further said that he has accepted with great willingness to present himself as the candidate of the SLFP and others. He added that due to some reasons or other, their position has been changed, yet he had emerged victorious in the poll. However, the suffering Sri Lankan general public were not able to witness the event as a conductive incident. He added that therefore he was prefixed with the issue of whether he should present himself for re-election under such circumstances. He added that to quit himself in the position to post in order to extend the support to the people's struggle. He further said that he does not want to see such a person to be viewed as an enemy of the people.
The Department of Meteorology predicts showers or thunder showers in the central and Ua provinces as well as in the Hambantota district today. In other parts of the island, mainly rain-free weather condition would prevail. Director General of the Department of Meteorology, Atula Karunayaka, said that the atmospheric disturbances prevailed near the Andaman Islands on the previous day has developed into a low-pressure zone. This condition is extending to the Bay of Bengal area as well in the next few days. The low-pressure condition is expected to travel up to India or coastal areas of Bangladesh. However, this condition may pose a special impact on the overall weather condition in the island. Accordingly, rainy weather may occur since morning in the southwestern part of the island. As a result, intermittent showers may be experienced in the western, Sabaragamua, southern and northwestern provinces. Showers may take place in the evening hours in the north-central, Ua Central, Ampara and Batticaloa districts. Thunder showers may also occur at night. As a result of the low-pressure situation near the southern Andaman Islands, the sea and coastal areas in the eastern parts of the island may turn rough at times. Therefore, a request has been made to refrain from engaging in fishing or naval activities in the deep sea areas off the coast at the eastern parts of the island. And we move to a short break and we'll bring you foreign news right after this.
Terima kasih, Pantamai.
Welcome back, and we are with more news updates, and this is regarding the Ukrainian crisis as the heat of arguments as the peace talks also goes on to nearly 2 months. That is, it has exceeded over 2 months, and this is the current situation of the Ukrainian crisis. Any peace deal with Russia would depend on Russian forces pulling back to their pre-invasion positions, where Ukraine's president says, speaking to a London think tank, Volodymyr Zelensky said that was the minimum that his country could accept. He said he was the leader of Ukraine, not a mini-Ukraine, but he did not mention Crimea, annexed by Russia in 2014. Russia is currently battling to take full control of the city of Mariupol. There are still Ukrainian forces along with some civilians in the southeastern cities Vazd as Azovstal steelworks, which has been subjected to a furious Russian onslaught. Finally taking Mariupol would be Russia's biggest achievement in 2 months of war and could give Russia's President Vladimir Putin something to celebrate on the 9th of May, which is Victory Day in Russia, the day the country marks the Soviet victory over the Nazis in World War II.
At least 22 people have died and more than 70 have been hospitalized after a massive explosion rocked one of Cuba's most exclusive 5-star hotels. It is believed a gas tanker which was parked outside the Saratoga Hotel in Old Havana ignited, causing an explosion which destroyed several floors of the building. The historic hotel was set for a post-pandemic reopening in 4 days. It now lies in ruins, which much of its outer wall turns off. Search and rescue operations are currently underway to locate people trapped under the debris. The Cuban presidency said that dead included a pregnant woman and a children. Cuba's President Miguel Diaz-Canel has visited the damaged site, which site proposed at the government's old congressional building. The president said that it was not a bomb or an attack, it's an unfortunate accident.
North Korea has fired a suspected ballistic missile designed to be launched from a submarine, South Korea's military said, continuing a provocative streak on weapons demonstrations that may follow it with a nuclear test in the coming weeks or months. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said that today's launch occurred from waters near the eastern port city of Sinpo, where North Korea has a major shipyard building submarines, but it didn't immediately say how far the missile flew. It also wasn't clear whether the launch would have involved an actual submarine or an underwater test platform. Japan's defense ministry also confirmed the launch, but it did not immediately release flight details. The launch was North Korea's first demonstration of a submarine-fired ballistic system since October last year, when it test-launched a new short-range missile from the 8.24 Yogung, its only known submarine capable of firing a missile. Deforestation in Brazil's Amazon has surged to record levels for the month of April, nearly doubling the area of forest removed in that month last year, alarming the environmental campaigners. And in the first 29 days of April, deforestation in the region totaled 1,012.5 square meters, where data from National Space Research Agency showed yesterday.
The agency, which has complied the monthly data series since 2015-2016, will report data for the final day of April next week. April is the third monthly record this year after new heights were also observed in January and February. Destruction of the Brazilian Amazon is the first 4 months of the year also hit a record for that period at 1,954 square kilometers, an increase of 69% compared to the same period of 2021, clearing an area more than double the size of New York City.
An Oxfam survey report says that global poverty index would increase in a record level during this year. It adds that the reason being the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. The global economy, weakened by the corona pandemic, has been further incapacitated by the impact of the Russian-Ukraine war. It has been pointed out that poor countries will be worst affected due to a decline in grain production and collapsing of services. Russia and Ukraine jointly produce 1/3 of the world's largest production of grain. According to the Oxfam Institute, the most affected regions in the world would be Africa, South America, Middle East and Asia.
Terima kasih, Pantamai.
Welcome back, and now it's your sports update. Ushan Tiwanka of Sri Lanka has been successful in securing the first place in the high jump event at the Long Star Conference Athletic Tournament in Texas, USA. Ushan is also the current record holder in the high jump event in Sri Lanka. Ushan has jumped a height of 2.20 meters at the tournament. The fifth place in the event has also been secured by another Sri Lankan competitor, Senuri Amarasinghe, who has also jumped a height of 2 meters. The Mumbai Indian team beat And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. Stay safe. Good night.